Hey, it's Norris here from RealSurf.com with a long overdue 7-day forecast podcast kind of thing. It's just been really difficult to try and do it over the last week. I've been away, and doing it on the road just proved to be a little bit too difficult. So I'm back in Sydney, and I've kind of got my usual tools, so it's a bit easier to try and do it. Look, anywho, we're looking at the MHL trace right now, and you can see what it looks like here on Monday night. We've got a little bit of southeast swell there coming in. I'll try and put my pointer. I don't know if it's going to show up. We do have some south-southeast swell. It's around about the meter mark, maybe a touch above. There are some longer period stuff in there, and a little bit of sea state plus swell height there that's closer to 3 meters. Come down a little bit, you can see down in here, this is showing right around 9 seconds period. That's up from about 8 this morning. So the swell power has actually increased a bit. A good thing, because I think the swell is really on a slow decline. So this may be just a bit of an uptick before that happens. Okay, now I'd like to pause here for a second, and next going to look at the next few days along with the WAM models. All right, we're looking at the WAM model now for tomorrow, Tuesday. And as you can see, this purple area down in here indicates the model is expecting really quite small conditions and swell out of the southeast in the Sydney region. A little bit better up the coast from us, as you can see there with that color. So let's look at the breakdown of those numbers. The Bureau says for Tuesday that we'll have west-northwest winds 10 to 15 knots, building to 20 knots offshore, and a south-southeast swell of a meter at about 8 seconds apart. So that's pretty consistent with what that model's showing. Okay, let's jump ahead now, and we're looking at Wednesday, the 48-hour model now, and here again we can see that it's still this darkish color indicative of small conditions. And the lines are the dominant swell direction, the arrows are the dominant swell direction, and they're pointing away from us right now for Wednesday. When the models, if you look at the numbers that they actually throw up for the Sydney region, and you've got stuff in the 1 to 2 meter range out of the east and southeast. At least one of the models translates these into 10 seconds. It reckons we get 10 seconds. So that could be good if that happens on Wednesday. Then Thursday, we'll just have a look at that. And here's Thursday. Thursday, you can see that we've got a development out here in the Tasman, and that's really starting to push up the wave heights. When it's that light green color, that means the model reckons we're talking about 3 to 4 meters roughly of swell height out there for Thursday. And the Bureau's call is for 10 to 20 knots of southwest wind on that day. And mainly south swell of around 1 to 2 meters, but at 10 seconds apart, so it's kind of juicy. Again, you see those arrows pointing sort of away from us or up here close to the coast, but pointing north, so consistent with the south swell call. So let's jump ahead and now look at Friday, and you can see that the swell generation, we've got a low, no doubt, here that's dropped down, is starting to really spin up some energy. A little bit lower in the Tasman, which is actually kind of good for Sydney for Friday. And the Bureau reckons the wind's still relatively light. Southwest 10 to 15 knots, and the swell out of the south about 1 to 2 meters at 9 seconds apart for Friday. Now let's jump ahead and have a look at Saturday. And Saturday, that boy, stuff's just bouncing around all over the place, isn't it? First it's down here, now it's up here. Saturday, the models think 1 to 2 meters from the south, and maybe 9 seconds apart or so. Yeah, that's again looks consistent with what this WAM picture is showing. Again, remember, all the models, all the long-range forecasts you read are built on the same data that is used to create these graphical images of what the computers think the swell heights will be. All right, let's jump ahead another day, and we're going to look on to Sunday now. And from the model, it looks like Sunday things are not quite as impressive for us. It could be pretty small if that happens. Now that I'm kind of cautious here because some of the stuff I'm reading is saying no, actually the storm systems won't move off that far, and we will actually get some swell developing that will push up into a pretty reasonable size range by Sunday, or maybe even Monday. But look, that's our look at the week ahead. This has been Don Norris from RealSurf.com. Wishing you a great week of swell and surf and lots of waves. And I will try to pump out another one of these 7-day outlooks in 2 or 3 days, depending on the schedule as usual. And depending on how much the models are swinging around. Like if they suddenly start showing something really interesting, well, I might do a forecast a bit earlier than otherwise. Anyway, hope you're having a great time. See you later.